Welcome to Mud and Glory. I'm your host Fabian Yo, and this is your regular news show for everything OCR. Starting off today with some news. Looking at Spartan, they've made some changes to their races for 2019. The Spartan series for 2018 comprised of 5 races, and they've reduced that now to 3 races, which has caused a bit of uproar online. What it really means is there's less margin for error, and completing those 3 races, you really need to perform at your best for all of them. So those 3 races now are 2 supers and a sprint. The sprint being over in Ireland. For the non-competitive race, I guess that doesn't really make any difference. There are more races out there, but if you want to be competitive and you want to go for those podium prizes and look for the series win, you need to be racing those 3 races. Spartan have also introduced some new obstacles for 2019. The one you'll definitely know about is Helix. Has caused quite a lot of interesting reaction online. Whether it's going to be a difficult obstacle remains to be seen. It doesn't look difficult, whether when it's covered in mud and when you're fatigued it might get more difficult, but I guess the question is, does an obstacle need to be difficult? Does it need to be something that people can't complete? Or does it want to be something that challenges you and you find interesting? Remains to be seen, but I'm sure people will be interested to see what it's like out on the course. Another interesting obstacle that they've released were the spinning monkey bars. Now that looks something I'm quite interested in. Spartan have also changed some of their age group ranges, making them a bit narrower, and they've also introduced a 60+ age group as well, which should make it easier for people to podium within their respective age group ranges. Spartan have also introduced a stadium race. Now it's been a while since they've used a stadium in the UK. It's something that the format's been used in the US for a while now. But come 23rd November, Twickenham is the location. Spartan will be bringing their stadium race to the UK, and I'd imagine if it goes well, it will be rolled out further in the coming years. The stadium race is quite interesting because they utilise the stairways, the backstage, the parking lot, more of an urban race. You won't see all the mud that you usually get in Spartan races, but you will see some of the signature Spartan obstacles. There'll be lots of burpees, there'll be lots of going up steps, there'll be lots of carries, and if that's your kind of thing, then get involved. The first race of the season's coming up shortly, 4th and 5th of May at Spartan and Clare. And that's the Southeast race, and I'm sure we'll be seeing a lot of you there. Hopefully we'll be out there to get some coverage. On to Tough Mudder now. And Tough Mudder have publicly been going through a bit of a rough patch, financially for sure, and they've been struggling to pay people out. So with that in mind, they've removed the prize money for 2019. Which is probably a wise move, although the Tough Mudder races were drawing quite a lot of the big competitors, and now clearly that's not going to happen anymore. Certainly interesting they've removed the prize money from even World's Toughest Mudder, which was a really big draw for some of the top athletes. They've also reverted to the classic format of 8 to 10 mile single loop with about 25 obstacles, and they've removed the Tough Mudder half an hour as well. So they're really trying to streamline their races and bring back that core clientele. They've also introduced some new obstacles. The gauntlet is the one that's really looking quite interesting to me. That's kind of a rig style obstacle with about 3 sections to it. It's certainly tougher than a lot of the Tough Mudder obstacles, and it's definitely going to bring some interest to the race, so I'm really looking forward to seeing that. Another interesting thing they brought is medals. So Tough Mudder historically have never had medals. The headband has always been their thing. So for them to bring in medals, I think will make a lot of people very happy. From Tough Mudder to Toughest now. Now Toughest have always had one of the best penalty systems in my eyes, but they've removed that now, making it a mandatory obstacle completion. I think really for the sport to be taken seriously in the future, that is the way to go, so I'm quite happy to see that. And that's it for your news today. On to races now, and the first race of the season was Tough Guy. Now this is a race that's not for many, it's certainly not for me. If you don't like the cold, it's probably not the place for you to be. And this year, it was won by the one and only James Appleton. I think it's been 9 years since he's won that race before, so congratulations to him. We don't have race results for the whole of the race because they didn't actually provide them this year. But well done to everyone who completed that race. I think it's one of those races that just completing it is a feat in itself. Next up is Nuts Challenge. I got out and about on course and did a little review for you. So let's take a look. So I'm here today at the Nuts Challenge, what some would say is the start of the OCR season, and it's a fairly dry day at the moment. It's been raining a bit early today. The guys out there today doing 1, 2, 3, 4 and even more than 4 laps if they're going for limitless. It's a very wet, sloggy course out there today. I was speaking to a few people earlier saying that, you know, that their goal from last year might have been 3 laps, and they're struggling to even do 2 laps today. So let's have a look out on the course and see what it looks like, and we'll chat to a few people along the way. Very nice.
Hopefully maybe qualified or something.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
What was the course like out there? It looked pretty muddy to me.
It was horrendous. Yeah, really muddy, really horrible, disgusting. But enjoyed it. Through.
What's the main thing? You kept your bib.
Kept the bib, yeah.
Smashed it, man.
Yeah, we'll see. Maybe do the next one.
Well done.
We'll see what happens.
How was it?
Wasn't as cold as I thought it was going to be.
That's good.
Wasn't as cold as I thought it was going to be. It wasn't as cold a couple of weeks ago when we tested it.
Yeah.
But it's just a hard slog of a race.
How many laps did you do?
3.
3 laps.
5 hours, 17.
Wow.
Third in age cap, 50 plus.
Right.
Hopefully,
Fingers crossed, we'll wait and see, hopefully.
I think there was 7 in my age cap, so it should be pretty safe.
Fantastic.
I don't know if the other ones had bibs or not, but no, I'm happy with that.
You enjoyed yourself, the main thing?
3 laps completed, target was 6 hours with qualification. Job done.
Job done. Awesome. So I'm here at the technical zone. It's quite late in the day now, so people are really quite struggling. I can't see many people doing stairway at this point in the day, but people are really soldiering on. Let's go and have a look at some of the action.
You know, everyone was saying this week, oh, winter nuts, look at the weather, it's going to be easy. But typical nuts fashion, they had other ideas. Cold, it's wet, it's slippy, technical area, so many people struggling, monkey bars are just soaking wet, and just the relentless water, the wades, the lake swim, the slide, it just zaps that energy. And you know, it's not just that, it's the wind chill. The wind chill is literally whipping up on those hills.
How many laps did you do then today?
I went for 2 laps today, obviously going for World Championship qualifier. And yeah, even 2 laps, there's people out there, so big respect to those doing 3, 4 and limitless. But yeah, two laps is enough for me this year. Dropping down from 3 and yeah, found it tough, but it's nuts, they like to punish it.
Nice one, well done.
So cheers, thanks guys.
Those of you who ran nuts will probably laugh at me for saying it was dry, but I swear it was dry for the couple of hours that I was there. Congratulations to Conor Hancock, looking back to his best, taking the gold in the 4 laps. Next up is a regular spot providing training tips to the OCR racer out there. We've kindly had Scotty from the PT barn provide us with some regular training tips. So let's take a look.
Guys, I'm Coach Scotty from the PT barn. Over the next few weeks we're going to be releasing a few videos with a few tips, a bit of advice on obstacle techniques. Things that you can do away from here, at home, local park, down the woods. Give them a go, let us know how you get on. On this first drill, make sure you start from underneath the rings. You don't want any frontal swing, just lateral swing. Focus on trying to keep your feet together and get your hips as high as possible. On this drill, we're going to develop from just the lateral swing to a hip twist. You can see the right side twisting to the left. Now we're going to look at taking the hand off. So we're going to twist, swing round, hand off, and down to the ground. On this last stage, we're going to put it all together, swing round, drop the hips, and back up onto the ring. This is what we call a gibbon technique. It's a great technique, but it is high risk because you spend a long time in one hand. The drill itself is done just on 2 rings so that you can do it over the park, on a goalpost, or on a pull-up bar. The beauty of this is using the 2 rings means it's accessible to everyone and you haven't got to be able to get to a training centre. Using just 2 rings is much harder than a line of rings. You'll find that the control has to be perfect compared to when you're doing a line of rings. Look to build up to doing 6 transitions, 3 on each hand.
Thanks for that, Scotty. I think you'll find that's a really useful way of training, that you can do a variety of different things with 2 rings, which you can set up in your local park or at home if you can. I will be seeing more from Scotty in the coming weeks. Upcoming races now. On the 30th of March, we have Battle Lansdowne. Following that on the 6th of April, Juventure Run. 27th of April, Rocket Race Apollo. And they're kicking off the Spartan series at St Clair on the 4th and 5th of May. Speaking of Rocket Race, the next episode has me interviewing Rocket Race's race director, David Birdie Baird. That's a really fantastic interview, and I think you're really going to enjoy that. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. I've been Fabian Yo, and you've been watching Mud and Glory, your regular news show for everything OCR. I'll see you next time.